First of all praises to the Father Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Barakadash. Shabbat Shalom to all the brothers and sisters in recognition to observing this day for worshiping the Most High. Sundown this evening to sundown tomorrow evening, my people. Let's get some rest, worship, and praises into the Father Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai's name, because this is a commandment throughout all of our dwellings, even in our downfall. Okay, we're going to talk a bit about GAD, the Gadites, better known as the Native Americans. Okay, now there's been some deception as to who the Native Americans really are. Of course, we've always seen the poster child for Native Americans as a Mongolian from Siberia. Okay, you guys all know who I'm talking about. Right now, you can look up Google Native American and one of them will pop up. But it was all a lie. Those people actually migrated from Siberia and they are Mongolians. Now, the real Native American is one like what you're looking at right now. Okay, I don't know this man's name. He's a chief though. I do understand that. I can't remember his name. But this is an actual Native American. If you were to Google Christopher Columbus, for example, what he saw when he came to Turtle Island, that's what it was named in. It will go in the description of the people that he found dwelling there, which is now called America, of course. Okay, he said that these people were swarthy and they had kinky hair. It ranged from kinky hair to some had, thinner, finer hair. But nevertheless, these people were swarthy. And if you look up the word swarthy, you will find that it means dark skin or black. Okay? So there was no Mongolian image-like type people here in the so-called Americas, prior to when Christopher Columbus came to this place. These are the people that he found. Us. Okay? And that was over this entire globe. This is the people, the kind of people that you will find. That is us, so-called black people, that has been mislabeled, reclassified as black people. But before that, we were of the tribes of Israel, named Gad, the Gadites. Okay, and now we're going to get into a little bit of history about Gad and some of the things that Gad did. Our rise and fall, just like the rest of our brothers, you understand, that are the seed of Jacob, the rise and fall of Gad. Okay, now let's start over here and let's go to Genesis. Now, the patriarch Jacob, who we descend from, okay, as well, here in verse 1, Genesis chapter 49, verse 1. We're going to go through the 12 sons, just briefly, of Jacob. But starting here in verse 1, it says, "And Jacob called unto his sons, and said, Gather yourselves together, that I might tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. Gather yourselves together, and hear, ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father." Israel, Jacob's name was changed to Israel. Okay, that's what that is. Now, firstborn was named Reuben, and it goes in to tell what became of Reuben. Okay, Simeon and Levi are brethren. Okay, and it goes into what's going to happen to him. Then we have Judah. Okay, we know who Judah is. We hear about Judah more so than any of the other tribes. Okay, and Zebulun, Issachar, you know. And Issachar here, it says, is a strong ass couching down between two burdens, okay? Whatever that means, actually, okay? Then we got Dan, which is another brother. Now, Gad. It says here, Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last, okay? Then we have Asher, Naphtali, Joseph, you know, and I think Benjamin. Benjamin is said to be of the Jamaicans, if I'm not mistaken, okay? And I think that concludes the 12 brothers, okay? But we're here to talk about Gad, okay? That's what we're about, the troop that will overcome Gad. Do you remember those soldiers, Buffalo soldiers? Well, basically was raised up against our people, using our people. But you know, the Confederate soldiers, when they came here, were not our people overcame by those soldiers, okay? Now here we got in 2 Samuel, where the prophet Gad, who actually instructed King David himself, okay? The Most High used the prophet Gad. We're talking about the same Gad, okay? He was a prophet. And it says here, for when David was up in the morning, the word of the Lord came unto the prophet Gad, David's seer, saying, see, that's what a prophet does. That's what he is. He's a seer. And the Most High actually uses him, okay, directly. A prophet is just not somebody that regurgitates words out of the holy book that the Most High have sent to the people, that was written by the true seers, the prophet themselves. Just know that. Verse 12, go and say unto David, thus saith the Lord, I offer thee 3 things. Choose thee one of them, that I may do it unto thee. So Gad came to David and told him, and said unto him, shall 7 years of famine come unto thee in thy land? Question. Or wilt thou flee 3 months before thine enemies, while they pursue thee? Or that there be 3 days pestilence in thy land? Question. Now advise and see that answer I shall return to him that sent me. Okay? So this is what the Most High had Gad go and ask David. You know, basically, what you gonna do? Make a choice. Verse 14, and David said unto Gad, I am in a great strait. Let us fall now into the hand of the Lord, for his mercies are great, and let me not fall into the hand of man. Okay? So the Lord sent a pestilence upon Israel from the morning even to the time appointed, and there died of the people from Dan even in Beersheba 70,000 men. Okay, so you see, Gad played a big part through the Most High, you know, being used as a channel through the Most High, instructing King David himself. A vast history of Gad, you know, which is known as so-called Native Americans, which was actually us, of the Gadite nation. Okay, here in Deuteronomy chapter 33 verse 20, and it says here, and Gad he said, blessed be he that enlargeth Gad, he dwelleth as a lion, and teareth the arms with the crown of the head. And he provided the first part of himself, because there in a portion of the lawgiver was he seated. Moses is the lawgiver, and Moses gave Gad land and everything. But see, the Most High instructed Moses to give Gad these things because Gad was obedient to the Most High. You see what I'm saying? This is what the lawgiver, instructed, actually gave Gad as a portion, as an inheritance or whatever. Okay? And he came with the heads of the people. He executed the justice of the Lord and his judgment with Israel. And of Dan, he said, Dan is a lion whelp. Okay? Now it goes on to what also Moses, the lawgiver, gave the other, brothers Dan. Okay, in those tribes right here, Naphtali and what have you. But our focus is right here on Gad. Our history that was torn away from us and what part we played in the tribe, of the 12 tribes. Our people, okay? And we have Joshua right here. And it reads, them did Moses, the servant of the Lord, and the children of Israel smite. And Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave it for a possession unto the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half tribe of Manasseh. Okay? You see, it was Moses that gave all these possessions to these tribes right here, these brothers. You see, the heads of the tribes. And it was a come up for our people as long as we did what the Most High would instruct us to do. How he instruct us to do anything through the lawgiver Moses at that time. Okay? That's how he did it. You see. Now, I'm telling you, our people was no pushovers. Okay? We were mighty, mighty, mighty people. You see what I'm saying? But when we fell is when we went against the Most High and we did not keep the covenant. You see. Now, here in Joshua chapter 12, verse 3, we're going to start here. And it reads, and from the plains to the sea of Chernoth on the east, and unto the sea of the plain, even the salt sea on the east, the way to the Beth-shemesh, and from the south under Ashtorpega, and the coast of Og, king of Bashan. King Og was a giant people. Okay, he was one of the Nephilim, which was of the remnant of the giants. You see that? That dwelt in Ashtaroth and at Etra. I guess I'm pronouncing that right. I might not be, but be that as it is. Verse 5. And reigned in the Mount Hermon. Mount Hermon. Now, Mount Hermon has a history. This is the mount right here where the fallen angels actually came to and made a pact to bring about these monsters upon this earth that the Most High instructed through the lawgiver Moses himself to destroy. Okay? Mount Hermon. That's right. Google Mount Hermon and the fallen angels. You'll see what I mean. And in Salca and all Bashan, unto the border of the Gershurites, Geshurites, and the Malchishites, and half Gilead, the border of Sihon, king of Heshbon. Them did Moses, the servant of the Lord, and the children of Israel smite. You see? And Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave it for a possession unto the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half tribe of Manasseh. And these are the kings of the country which Joshua and the children of Israel smote on this side of Jordan, on the west from Balgad, in the valley of Lebanon, even unto the Mount Halak, that goeth up to Seir. Mount Seir. You know who that is? Edom. Okay? Edomite country, which Joshua gave unto the tribes of Israel for possession according to their divisions in the mountains and in the valleys and in the plains and in the springs and in the wilderness and in the south country, the Hittites, the Amorites, and the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites and the Jebusites, the king of Jericho, 1, the king of Ai, which is beside Bethel, 1. Okay? These are all Nephilim clans right here. All those names right here is what the Most High, through the lawgiver Moses, had our people put work in. You see what I mean? Too, the children of Israel, that means all of the tribes, even, us, GAD. Okay? Now we have Joshua over here, chapter 13, verse 8. And it says, with whom the Reubenites and the Gadites had received their inheritance, which Moses gave them beyond Jordan eastward, even as Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave them. You see, we really had something going, back in those times, our ancestors did. But see, when we failed, is when we failed to keep the covenant with the Most High. And we did not listen to the lawgiver. Who's the lawgiver? Moses. Okay? We did good, but we had a chance to redeem ourselves, and for a minute we did. It reads here in Numbers chapter 32, verse 20. And Moses said unto them, if ye will do this thing, if ye will go armed before the Lord to war, and will go all of your arm over Jordan before the Lord until he have driven out his enemies from before him. Still talking about these Nephilim nations, okay? And the land be subdued before the Lord, then afterward ye shall return and be guiltless before the Lord and before Israel, and this land shall be your possession before the Lord. But if you will not do so, behold, ye have sinned against the Lord, and be sure your sin will find you out. Okay? Build you cities before your little ones, and folds before your sheep, and do that which hath proceeded out of your mouth. And the children of Gad and the children of Reuben spake unto Moses, saying, thy servants will do as my Lord commanded. Our little ones, our wives, our flocks, and all our cattle shall be there in the cities of Gilead. But thy servants will pass over, every man armed for war, before the Lord to battle, as my Lord saith. So concerning them Moses commanded Eleazar the priest, and Joshua the son of Nun, and the chief fathers of the tribes of the children of Israel. And Moses said unto them, if the children of Gad and the children of Reuben will pass with you over Jordan, every man armed to battle before the Lord, and the land shall be subdued before you, then ye shall give them the land of Gilead for possession. But if they will not pass over with your armed, they shall have possessions among you in the land of Canaan. And the children of Gad and the children of Reuben answered, saying, as the Lord hath said unto thy servants, so will we do. Everything looked pretty good at this point. You see, they did it. We will pass over armed before the Lord into the land of Canaan, that the possession of our inheritance in this side Jordan may be ours. And Moses gave unto them, even to the children of Gad, and to the children of Reuben, and unto half the tribe of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, the kingdom of Sihon, king of the Amorites, and the kingdoms of Og, king of Bashan, the land which the cities thereof in the coast, even the cities of the country around and about. Okay? So they did what the Most High said to do. You see, through Moses. But something went wrong, and then our people became exiled out of our land. Okay? We became exiled. Why? Let's see. We got Deuteronomy chapter 29, verse 9 is where we're going to start. It says, keep therefore the words of this covenant, and do them that ye may prosper in all that ye do. See, this right here is a warning if we want to be successful. You see, the terms and conditions means if you do what the Most High says to do, you're going to be all right. Verse 10, ye stand this day all of you before the Lord your God, your captains of your tribes, your elders and your officers, with all the men of Israel, your little ones, your wives, and thy stranger that is in thy camp, from the hewer of the wood unto the drawer of the water, or thy water, that thou shouldest enter into covenant with the Lord thy God, and to his oath, which the Lord thy God maketh with thee this day, that he may establish thee today before a people unto himself, and that he may be unto thee a God, as he hath said unto thee, and as he hath sworn unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. Okay? Them are the fathers. Okay? The three patriarchs right there. Neither with you only do I make this covenant and this oath, but with him that standeth here with us this day before the Lord our God, and also with him that is not here with us this day. For ye know how we have dwelt in the land of Egypt, and how we came through the nations which ye passed by. Here's where it gets hairy at. And ye have seen their abominations and their idols, wood and stone, silver and gold, which were among them. See, this is where our people went left and start imitating, worshiping all those idols that when our people served as slaves in Egypt. They took those things with them and then they started worshiping these things. Our people was good at worshiping idols that was made of wood. They were called totem poles. You understand? Hawks and eagles and all that old kind of mess. You see, this is where we went wrong. Verse 18, lest there should be among you man or woman or family or tribe whose heart turneth away this day from the Lord our God to go and serve the gods of these nations, lest there should be among you a root that beareth gall and wormwood. Okay? See, when you serve and you worship these idols and stuff like that, damnation is going to come upon us. This is why these things happen to us. Okay? And it came to pass, when he heareth the words of this curse, that he bless himself in his heart, saying, I shall have peace, though I walk in the imagination of my heart. To add drunkenness to thirst. The Lord will not spare him. But then the anger of the Lord and his jealousy shall smoke against that man, and all the curses that are written in this book shall lie upon him, and the Lord shall blot out his name from under heaven. Okay? Don't you know what that means? when you blotted out, your name blotted out, from under heaven, and it says right here, he's not going to, spare you. And jealousy shall smoke against that man. Smoke. Do you know what comes after fire? Smoke does. That's hell. If your name blotted out in heaven, that's that. Okay? That's hell right there. Destroyed in hell. And the Lord shall separate him unto evil out of all the tribes of Israel, according to all the curses of the covenant that are written in this book of the law, so that the generation to come of your children that shall rise up after you, and the stranger that shall come from a far land, shall say, when thou see the plagues of that land and the sicknesses of which the Lord hath laid upon it, and that the whole land thereof is brimstone and salt and burning, that it is not sown, nor beareth, nor any grass growing therein, like the overthrown of Sodom and Gomorrah, Admah and Zeboim, what the Lord overthrew in his anger and in his wrath. Even all nations shall say, wherefore hath the Lord done thus unto this land? That meaneth the heat, meaneth the heat of this great anger. Right? Then men shall say, because they have forsaken the covenant of the Lord, Yahweh, God of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them forth out of the land of Egypt. Okay? For they went and served other gods and worshiped them, gods whom they knew not, and whom he have not given unto them. Okay? So that's what it all boils down to, people. That's what it all boils down to. You see this right here when he says so that the generations to come up, to come off your children that shall rise up after you, and the strangers that shall come from a far land shall say, when they see the plagues of that land and the sicknesses which the Lord hath laid upon it. Okay? Now, this is what I'm saying right here. If you remember, it is said that when these strangers came upon our people, they gave our people blankets of smallpox. You see what I'm talking about? They gave our people blankets laced with smallpox. They coughed on them. They was filthy. And they gave us those blankets right here. And that came plagues and pestilence. Made us sick. And a lot of our people died after that. So you see, the Most High's word has gone forth, and it is budded, and it will not return void. This is what it's been all these years. This is why it is important for us to always remember the Most High's covenant and stay within it for our own good. So now this concludes, a brief history of, our people, GAD. I hope I said something to stimulate your spiritual growth, and I hope you found the lesson edifying. People, always remember to live your life as though we are being watched, simply because we are. All praise to the Father in Yahweh's name. Thank you. Peace.